Hello all. Today we'll be discussing about an introduction to PHP server-side scripting language. Here in this session we'll be covering just the basics of how to use PHP, what is the basic syntax and why we prefer to use PHP. So without any delay, let's start. So PHP stands for PHP Hypertext Preprocessor, and the most important thing about PHP is that it is one of the most widely used server-side scripting language. Why I coined the term server-side is because this is a language which works on the server side, and when you have a code running inside a PHP code running inside a web page, that particular code is actually executed in the corresponding server, not the browser or not in the client side. So it will be executed in the server side, and the result of that code will be returned back to the web browser and it will be displayed before the user. That is why it is called a server-side scripting language. So it is usually used to execute something over the server, not on the client. And another important feature of PHP language other than other server-side scripting languages that it is free. Okay, so what I mean by free is that it is an open source scripting language. You can use it as your own, you can create versions of it, and you have all access on whatever to be done. Okay, so it is free to download and use, and you can have your own versions. Okay, that is why it is said to be open source. And this is one of the most widely used server-side scripting language because most giants of websites like Facebook or WordPress is actually supported by PHP in the backend. So uh, the attractive feature of PHP would be that you can use it with almost anything. You can have text in PHP code, you can have an HTML in PHP code, you can have CSS, JavaScript, or even one PHP code inside another. So a PHP file can be having anything, almost compatible with anything that you want to use with. Then so as I said before, it is going to execute on the server side and the user will be provided only with the result of the code. And just like any other programming language, you will have to save the source code with a .php extension. So this is a sample PHP text. Here you can see there is just like a doc. This is an HTML file, and inside it you can see you have immersed a PHP code just like you do with JavaScript and all. So here you can see inside the body you have a PHP code which starts with a angle bracket, then this is the syntax for PHP, and here the sole purpose of this particular code is to display something over the output screen. So what you have to display, you have to display my first PHP script, and it will be done using an echo command. Okay, just like you have in shell scripting, here also you use either echo or print to display something over the output screen. So this is just an example. Then why do we actually need to use PHP? This is because it is compatible with almost all the operating systems like Windows, Linux, Unix, Mac OS or whatever. And it is also compatible with almost all the current or modern world servers. Then it has a capacity to support a wide range of databases. Then another important feature, as I said before, it is that it is open source. Then it is very simple to use because much of your programming code or much of the programming structure is exactly look alike just like your C programming language. So it is very easy to use PHP, or it is very easy to learn PHP. That is why PHP is said to be one of the best server-side scripting language for a beginner. Then uh, so let's move on. And what are the capacities of PHP? That is the next question. So here you can have PHP to generate dynamic page content. What do you mean by dynamic page content? Dynamic page content is that which means you can interact with the system, and the system or the web page will produce a display which is according to your interaction. That is why it is said to be a dynamic page content. Okay, it can generate dynamic page content. You can have static web pages which cannot have any change in the displayed output, or it does not support any interaction. But in the case of dynamic page content, it means that based on your or the end user's interaction, you will have a change in the content being displayed. So that is about dynamic page content. Then PHP can be used to create, open, read, write, delete and close files on the server, which means it is actually a server-side scripting language. So it will support almost all the activities that is to be done on the server side. It can collect data from a form. That is another important feature. Just like any other scripting language, you can have PHP to collect data from a user input form. Then you can use PHP to send and receive cookies, which is part of your web page. Then you can use it to modify or add or delete data from your database. That is again at the server side, not on the client side. Then it can be used to control the access of a particular user. You have something called PHP validation, and from there you can set what should be done or how can the user be given a control. You can actually set the control for a user. It can be used to encrypt the data that is being sent. Okay, so that is one of the finest features of PHP, which made it so attractive to be used on social networks like Facebook. Then next part is that with PHP you can have outputs like you have HTML, XHTML, XML, images, PDF or even Flash movies. Everything is almost compatible with PHP. So that is the capacity level that PHP can offer. Next, let's see what is the syntax of PHP. Okay, so we'll be just introducing the basic syntax of PHP, and after that we'll be winding up with this session. In the next session, I'll be probably giving you much more details into what are variables, what are operators and so on. So let's see what is the syntax of a PHP script. So it is executed on the server and the plain HTML result is sent back to the browser. Okay, so that I have discussed before. Then here you have to note that whether it be an inline code or it be an external code, every PHP code will have to start with these angle brackets, these syntax. A PHP script starts with a $?PHP and it should end with a question mark angle bracket. Okay, so that is how PHP will be encoded with. So this is a sample. Whatever to be done or whatever to be executed, that code has to go in within the angle bracket PHP and angle bracket tag, the pair tag. Okay, so just like C programming, every statement in PHP also should end with a semicolon. That is the second point to be noted. So when you are going to write a PHP code, firstly, you will have to write the PHP syntax tag, which is angle bracket, open angle bracket, question mark PHP, and you have to end it with question mark closing angle bracket. Okay, and every statement should definitely end with a semicolon. That is the first point to be noted. So this is an example that we have seen before. So you are actually encoding a PHP script into an HTML web page. So here inside the body you have a heading called my first PHP page that will be displayed as such, and you can see you have encoded a PHP script here, and it is also just being displayed as if you have done with a heading inside the HTML tag. Okay, so this is the beauty of PHP. What happens here is when you load this particular web page, the code that has been done using PHP will be executed in the server and the content will be sent to your browser, and the browser will be displaying it much as it displays like a HTML content. So next is about how to add comments in PHP. So you know how to add comments in a C language. You can have single line comment as well as multiple line comments. Just like that, you can have single line comments in PHP with the same symbol and a multiple line comments in PHP again with the same symbol as if you have it in C programming language. you have one more addition. You can have a PHP comment starting with a hash symbol. Again, that would be for single line comments. So you have three ways to comment in PHP, which is first one is using a double slash, then you can have a hash, or you can have multiple lines with a slash asterisk followed by an asterisk slash pair tag, pair symbol. So this is how you say you use comments in PHP. I'll show you an example. So this is an example. Here you can see the first line which follows the PHP code syntax is that it is a single line comment. The same thing will happen with a hash also. If you have multiple lines or your comment is spanning for multiple lines or multiple statements, in that case you can use a slash asterisk followed by an asterisk slash. Okay, again, if you have something to be commented inside an executable statement, in that case also you can use PHP comments, just like you have it here. See here, $x is equal to 5, then you have commented something which is plus 15. That plus 15 has been commented, and there is another plus 5, and here you are going to echo $x, which is your x variable, and what is the result? Result is 10, not 20. So that is not 25. Okay, so that is what which means that here it has been commented. That part of the comment, that part of the statement has been commented. Okay, so that is also possible in PHP. So you can have single lines of comment, multiple lines of comment, comment within an executable statement, and you can use even a hash to represent a single line comment. So these are about points to be noted while commenting in PHP. Next, this next attractive feature is that you don't have case sensitive tags or keywords in PHP. You can have everything case insensitive. You can write any keyword using uppercase, lowercase, or even mixed case. Doesn't matter. You can use it much as you use it with the lowercase keywords. So that is it. PHP is case insensitive. Then while the keywords are case insensitive, the variables are case sensitive. That is the next part to be noted. You have the keywords which are insensitive, but the variables which you declare should be always case sensitive, which means $capital X and $small letter x will be much different, two variables. Okay. Then you can use either an echo statement or a print statement to display output. Then if you're going with the echo statement, you can use it with a parenthesis or without a parenthesis. But for a print statement, you will have to use parenthesis. So I'll show you another example of using echo statement. Here you can see you have an echo statement which includes an HTML tag inside it. That is also possible. So you're echoing within this quotes, you have a statement, a string which is to be displayed, and you are inserting it inside a heading tag of supported by HTML. Then you can have a simple tag here with a break. That is also possible. Then echo, what happens here? Echo is that I'm about to learn PHP, again a break. Okay. Then see here you can have multiple strings, multiple parameters. You are passing multiple parameters into the same echo statement, but you can see that they are all displayed as if it was a single string. So this is the output. As you can see here, PHP is fun, that is written just like a heading. Okay. Then the next statement was hello world with a break, and the break is applied here. Then I am about to learn PHP, that is written much like you have written any other string. Then what happens with the fourth echo statement? You have multiple parameters passed into the same echo statement, but it is displayed as with just one line text. Okay, so that is about echo statement. Then this is another feature. Here you can see you have two variables and you are inserting those variables with an input string. So text 1 is learn PHP. This is a code which I have taken from w3schools.com. That is why it says w3schools.com there. Okay. So the second variable is $text2, and it is input with a string which is w3schools.com. and you have a variable x with a value 5 and another variable y with a value 4. See, the important factor about PHP is that you are not defining the type of your variable. It is automatically analyzed. That is another important feature when it comes to the variables of PHP. You don't have to write int a or char b. You don't have to write that. It will be automatically understood with the value that is being assigned to the variable. Okay, so automatically text1 and text2 will become string and x and y will become integers. Okay, so here you can see you are displaying text1 with a heading tag in between, and you are displaying another string variable text2 along with another string. Okay, so study PHP at, and what happens here is that you are concatenating the variable. Okay, you are concatenating the content of the variable to an already existing string. That is seen here, study PHP at w3schools.com. What happens here? You are inputting the content of text2 along with to be concatenated with what is displayed in the previous string. Okay, then what happens? See, here you have to display the sum of x and y. You can do it within the print statement itself, the echo statement itself. You can see $x plus $y. It is not going to display 5 plus 4. It is going to display 9. That is another important feature. So if you are giving an operation within an echo statement, the operation will be executed first and the result will be passed to the echo statement, and that will be displayed. This is done, this execution or this computation purpose is done actually inside the server. It is not done inside the browser of your client. That is why this is said to be a server-side scripting language. Then PHP is white space insensitive. It cannot recognize white space. Okay, if you have multiple white spaces or you have no statements at all, doesn't matter. Okay, so one white space character is same as much as any such characters. You have just one character. You are writing there is a script. Then you have one single space between there and is. It will be just displayed as there space is. But if you have there then double space is, again it will be displayed as there space is. So it is white space insensitive. Then so to conclude with the syntax part of the basic syntax part of PHP, I would say it is case sensitive when it comes to variables and case insensitive when it comes to keywords. Then every statements in PHP should be terminated with semicolons. Every code that you are going to program in PHP should have the starting and ending tags, which is the angular question mark PHP and ended by question mark angular bracket. Then braces, when you make braces, you are referring to a block of statement. Okay, just like you have it in any other programming language. So let's conclude our discussion for this day, and we have discussed about what are the attractive features about PHP, what are the capacities of PHP, why do you need PHP, and what is the basic syntax while using PHP. So in the next video, we'll be discussing about how to use the operators, variables, what are the conditional statements, and so on. So until then, let's take a short break, and if you have any comments in this, you will have to use my comment box. Thank you.